How do you integrate Calendly with Monday.com? A question I get frequently asked, strangely enough. And in this video, I'm not only going to explain how to do it, I'm going to show you how to do it. So when a new event is booked in your Calendly, it's going to go straight over to your Monday.com system. I'm going to walk you through all of the steps and everything else involved, things you need to take into consideration as well. By the way, just before we get into the video, if you need any help automating, integrating, streamlining your business with Monday.com or any other applications, check out the link below. We would be delighted to help. Now, as you can see here, this is my website. And following on from my shameless plug about what we do, I invite people to book a call once they watched a video explaining exactly how we can help their business. Now, when they book a call, this is a Calendly widget. You can see here that they can select the date and time that works best for them. And then there are a series of questions that get asked in order for me to find out more about them and their business, qualify them, maybe unqualify them. And then I need that information to go over to my Monday.com system. So you can see here, I have a series of questions that need to be answered. Now, like I said in this video, I'm going to show you how a new event that is created via Calendly is going to populate into my Monday.com system. First and foremost, let's head over to Monday.com. And as you can see here, I'm in just a massive system demo that I've built out for the sake of training videos just like this one. And I've created a Calendly integration example board. Now, what we firstly are going to need to do is we need to map the columns on, or the fields, should I say, on the Calendly form to the actual Monday.com board. So I need to make sure that I include things like first name, last name, email, phone number, etc., and all of the related questions. So first, before we go any further, let me just run through that. I'm going to blast through this. So I'm just going to do a text column for first name. Here we go. I'm going to do the same, another text column for last name. As you can see, what else? So I've got email address, so I'll add an email column. There we go. What else have I got on here? I've got a business name. Awesome. Business. So let's just do a text column for that. So business name. Business name. I then have number of employees. Now, what we need to do in that instance is review what is actually being used on the Calendly. So you can see here, this is a single select. That means I can only select one answer. So in this case, what I would do is I would just create a status column, okay? Because with the status column, you can only use one. So I'm just going to drag and drop the existing status column that we have. You can only select one, is what I was saying. And then I'm going to delete and marry up the labels on, or the options on the Calendly to the options on my status. Now, you don't necessarily need to do this, because what will happen is every time there's a new submission, that data will pull through automatically anyway. So I'm going to leave that for the time being, just to save time in this video. And then the next question I've got, what do you need help with? So managing processes, activities, integrating software, etc. Now, in this particular instance, for this particular Calendly option, it seems as if this is a multi-select, okay? So we've got multiple options we can select here. Now, what I'm going to do in that case is create a drop-down. So a drop-down allows us the option to select multiple things within Monday.com as well. So you can see how we're matching columns or fields from the Calendly to Monday.com and make sure that they're working. So I'm just going to rename the status to number.employees, and then the drop down is going to be let's just what do you need help with? Let's just say client issues as an example. Client issues. There we go. And again, I'm not going to populate any of the information just yet, because it will just pull through via the integration. And then we've got, how did you find out about us? So that would be, again, looking at that, that's just a single select. You can't select multiple. So in that case, what I'm going to do is select a status, and I'm going to select source. Very easy, right? And again, we've got those three options there. The default is always going to be working on it, done, test, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to leave that for the time being, because this data is going to automatically populate through, and I'll show you. And then any systems you're currently using. So again, that's a status looking at that. So status and then systems used. I'm just going to call that systems used. There we go. And then I've got phone number as well. Final option here, which is send text messages to. And I'm going to want to obviously track their phone number when a new submission comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and just hide the column summary on this, and then add phone number. There we go. Awesome. So now I've got all of these different data points, and then I'm going to have date of meeting, date meeting, date date/time. So I'm just going to use this existing date column for my meeting date/time. I'm going to delete the person column for the time being, and then I'm just going to delete this particular group here. So you can skip through a lot of this if you've already gone through this whole setup, and you're probably wondering, well, how do I actually connect the two systems? Well, in this particular instance, we're actually going to use a tool called Zapier. Now, if you're not familiar with Zapier, check out the video linked above. There's a full training tutorial on how to use the actual system and get a feel around it. I'm going to assume you have a level of competence with Zapier. I will try my best to walk through as if you've never used it before, but it is quite complicated, so I'm going to have to move relatively quickly. So we're going to go to our Zapier system. If you've not created a Zapier account, I swear by the system. It's the most incredible system available to any business. It's the Swiss Army knife of businesses. So check out the link below if you're not using it already. And then I've got my system demo folder on the left-hand side here. So I've just gone to this. All you need to do is create a Zap. So go to create in the top right-hand corner and go ahead and hit new Zap. Now, the first thing we need to do is create a trigger. So in this instance, the trigger is when a Calendly is completed. So I'm going to go ahead and set my trigger option up the top here, and I'm going to go ahead and search for the application Calendly. Now, if you haven't already signed into your Calendly account, you're going to need to go to the account option on the far right hand side and select the account, or press add new account, and then it's going to go through a sign-in process where you have to connect your Calendly with Zapier, confirm that you're happy for data to push between the two systems. And once you've done that, you just need to select the account that you're using. So in this instance, it's going to be this one here. And then I need to select a trigger event. So what is the event that's causing this Zap to run, this whole integration to run? So in this instance, the trigger event is going to be when an invitee created. So that's essentially when a new event is created. Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press continue, and then we need to define the webhook subscription scope. Now this is dependent on your Calendly system, whether you're using it across the entire organization, whether it's just you. For the simplicity of this video, I'm just going to keep it to user. So when a new invitee is created for my user in Calendly, so that's my account, then it's going to run this automation. So I'm going to go ahead and press continue, and then I can test the trigger. So in order to test it, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and just fill out this information first. So Nick Boardman, Nick at crmcrew.com, CRM crew, number of employees, blah, 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 keep that. And I'm not going to put my phone number, and then hit schedule event. Oh, I should have put my phone number. Oh, well, these things happen. I can't map that data now. So now that's taken me to, obviously, thanks for booking a meeting, blah, 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 blah. If you do book a meeting, this is what you'll see. But now if I go back to my Zapier and I go ahead and press test trigger, that dummy data will pull through. So I can then map the data from the Calendly to the actual Monday.com columns that we've created at the start of this video. It may take a while to pull through. Zapier has been weirdly slow this morning. This is a second training video I've done. And it seems to be taking a while. But here you go, invitee A. So this is the example information, first name, last name, full name, and all of the information we've just gone ahead and populated. All I need to do now is press continue with selected record, okay? Now, one thing you do need to bear in mind is you might need to add a filter. The reason being, if you've got multiple Calendly events on your Calendly system, but you only want one to go into your Monday.com system via an integration, as an example, we have Calendly events for our clients to just book meetings with me and my team whenever works best for them. I don't want that information to go to my Monday because it's not a sales related event. So I'm going to add a filter here. I'm just going to search filter by Zapier by pressing the plus button. And then I'm going to write my filter rules. Really, really simple. So I go only where, and then what I want to do is I want to find scheduling URL. So let me look for it. Scroll through. Event type scheduling URL is the one we're looking for, and then I'll go exactly matches, and then you want to go ahead and search events type scheduling URL. All I'm looking for is this FIC bit at the very end. So all of this is quite generic to your Calendly account, but the FIC is the actual specific event type, and has to be unique. So the FIC or whatever else you've URL'd the event URL, if that's a word. So I'm just going to go contains and then FIC. because I know that that is going to be unique to that particular event. No other event can have that unless you've got FIC-2, which you might want to put -2 as an example. So you might have multiple free initial consultation events. So just bear that in mind. So from there, now I've added my filter, I just need to write this information over to monday.com. So I'm going to search for the application monday.com up the top here. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is action the event. So create action on the top right hand corner. And I'm going to go create item in a new board. And then obviously the other thing that you need to do is connect your monday.com account to your Zapier account. If you have not done this, it's very, very simple. Just press select on the far right hand side. It will ask you to connect an account. So press connect a new account. And then all it's going to do is ask you for your API key. Now this may sound very scary and confusing, but it's really simple. Just go to your monday.com system, go to your initials in the top right hand corner, go to administration, and then go to connections, go to API up the top. And if you do not have a personal API key generated, just hit generate and then copy. And then all you need to do is paste it into that tab, and then your monday.com account will be connected. And then all you need to do is just select it like I have done there. And then go ahead and press continue. And now we need to configure. So we need to write this information from Calendly to a particular board. And that board is going to be my Calendly integration example. You can see that it's popped up here. Obviously, I suspect you're going to be writing this to somewhere else. And then the group ID for me is going to be the group title. I believe that is the only thing we've got on that particular board. Yeah, group title there. And now we need to go ahead and populate the information. So item name is going to be the full name. So invitee name. I suspect you can add invitee name and then dash CRM crew. So all you need to do is press in and then press the plus button on the far right hand side. Meeting date and time is going to be obviously invitee created. And now we can go ahead, scheduled event start time. So you can see that information there. All very, very simple. We've got first name. Let's go ahead and look for first name, which is that one. Last name being this one here. Let's go ahead and add that. Then email, nick@crmcrew.com. There you go, invitee email. This is all really easy. And then anything that I can't find, I can just search. So CRM crew as an example. Let's say question and answers, not that one. It's going to be question and answers. One response, map that to business name. Number of employees. Let's press the 3 dotted button on the far right hand side. We need to select custom value, then press the plus button, go to invitee created. And as you can see, question and response answer number 2 is 4 to 10 employees. So that will map directly. I've then got client issues. Again, 3 dotted button on the far right hand side, hit the custom option. What's happened there? Custom. And then we need to go ahead and look for invitee answered number 3, which was all of these related issues. So they're going to automatically populate into my drop down option. And then we've got source. Again, 3 dotted button on the far right hand side, hit custom, and then go to invitee created. And there's going to be question and answer number 4. You can see how simple this is really. It's just connecting them and mapping them. So YouTube's the source, and then system used is system used on here. So I think I can't remember what I selected, but it's going to be question and answer number 5. So in that case, I did actually add monday.com. Now, as you notice, when I created that Calendly event, I was very foolish and I did not put my phone number in. Well, that might be foolish, might not be foolish as this is going onto the internet. If you want to map your phone number, you would just obviously need to enter your phone number and then you can press plus and let's say search for it. So 014123 and then it would show. But obviously I didn't map it. And then all you need to do is hit continue. And now first and foremost, let's test this step. So we'll hit test. Hopefully this data will write over to our Calendly integration example board containing all of the data. And as you can see, that data is then written over from the Calendly to monday.com, full name, meeting start date time, Nick Boardman, email, business name, number of employees, client issues, all the source and the system used. And if we had mapped the phone number, of course, it would have pulled the phone number in as well. So once you're happy with everything, all you need to do is hit publish in the top right hand corner. This app then goes live, and every time a new Calendly is submitted for that particular Calendly event type, it's going to create a new item in your Calendly or in your monday.com system, based on the data that you've mapped across and obviously where you're populating the information as well. I appreciate this is very complex. Like I said, if you need any help with any of this, check out the link below. We'd be delighted to help streamlining, automating, integrating your business with monday.com, various other systems as well. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you struggled with this or maybe have additional questions, there are other videos linked in the description